Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Rolfe, and this is the Smart Networker. And today we're going to embark on a new venture as part of the Smart Networker program. And it came about as a result of being on an event and hearing some interesting questions and concerns and thoughts about information about moving forward. So I've created a whole new section on the webpage of daverolfe.com called Business Success, and we're going to start off with a series of these presentations, and each week we'll add a chapter. And this week's chapter is basically called or entitled Understanding What We Have. Now, this is an interesting topic, as this is one of those key pieces of information that would have been extremely helpful for me if I went back to the beginning of my journey. You know, they say hindsight's the perfect science, and of course, understanding and knowledge is the key to success and power. So I'm going to create this PowerPoint or show you the PowerPoint. This will be recorded. It will be posted on daverolfe.com, and this is an updated version of the original. So let's go, and I'll share my screen. Okay, now let's move this up to here. There we go. All right, so the title of this, Understanding Your Options, came about when I was reviewing the information to present here. But really, what we are wanting to do is understand what this thing called Nikken is, and how we should look at it. Now, if I go back and look at education and how we learn things, you know, prior to me starting Nikken, I had 13 years of experience. So I had been introduced to the idea, I had been introduced to the concept, I had plenty of time to do the activities that were required. I saw lots of success. I saw what people did. I saw what people didn't do. So when I was approached, I had a knowledgeable understanding of what this was all about. Now, 32 years later, as I look back at this, I sure wish I knew everything that I learned in the last 32 years up front. It would have made my journey a lot easier to understand really what we have here. So, in an attempt to try and give you the information to look at, this is what the whole idea was all about. And it's extremely important because if you really get this, this is one of the best ways to go as far as what we have to do in life, and it can be very enjoyable. So here we go. So understand what we have. Now, we have many choices in what we do in life, but for most of us, we don't have a choice about work. We all need money to live life and pay for what we want. I mean, that's pretty obvious. However, we have choices in what we can do to earn a living, and it's smart to understand what you have available. And then you can make decisions that really impact your life so that will help you get what it is that you want. Now, to give you some background information and some food for thought, which is important about business and people that are successful, in this country, there are about 1.8 million households that have an investment portfolio of over $3 million, which means on top of their house, they have $3 million that's invested plus their income, whatever the case may be. Now, in the US, there's 115 million households. So we're talking, a very small percentage has a lot of money. Now, 1 out of 5 households earns 100,000 per year. 1 out of 25 has a net worth of over $1 million. And 94% of the very successful have a clear purpose in life. These are important factors looking forward. Now, As a whole, the group is obsessed with good health. Interesting. And most of them own their own business according to the Federal Reserve. And their net worth is way more than wage earners, way more. So in looking at this information and how to use this, what we want to do is position what we're talking about in relationship to what's going on in society, what's going on out there, what are the positive things. So if you need to earn a living, you owe it to yourself to understand the benefits of building a business for yourself. And one of the benefits lies in the information above. And it is important then to know what choices you have in relationship to the work that you will do. Now, because of my experience, I set up many businesses for myself, both by myself and with other people, both privately and publicly. And so traditional needs of setting up a successful or how to launch a successful business consists of, number one, you have to validate your idea. Now, this is a very important issue. I remember we started a business, it's now 10 or 15 years ago, that the idea was brand new and it hadn't been proven. And the owner and the inventor of the idea thought it was the neatest thing since sliced toast. But again, he wasn't buying the product, it was the public that was buying the product. So we had to go about to validate that idea, and we spent several $100,000 in trying to get that done. Now, another aspect of launching successful business is you have to have a good plan and a good budget and be able to weather the storm, so to speak. You have to build the right team. You have to establish the right support system, and you have to be able to respond to feedback and, of course, refine your model. Well, we did that for years. And unfortunately, that business never took off, but the learning curve of what was needed was truly there. Now, what are the steps in starting a business? And this is important to take a look at as well, is typically you would write a business plan. And now there are many people that go to college for 4 or 5 years to learn how to write a business plan. So it's an intricate piece of information. You have to get, business assistance and sometimes some training. You have to, choose a location for a lot of people who are doing their own small business. You have to finance your business. You have to determine the legal structure of your business. You have to register the name of, who you're doing business as, and you have to register for state and local taxes, and you have to obtain business license and permits, and you have to understand employer responsibilities and, possibly find local assistance. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done just to get started, plus capital required and the time to do all of this. And now here's we want to look at next is the statistics of success of starting a new business. So it's mostly said that 9 out of 10 startups fail. Wow. And that's an incredible. So that means the success rate is roughly 10%. But hardworking, creative, and persistent people maximize their odds of success by rapidly improving on all aspects of their startup. Now, the Small Business Administration defines a small business as one with 500 employees or less. And in 2019, the failure rate of startups was around 90%. Further research concludes 21% of the startups fail in the first year, 30% in the second year, 50% in the fifth year, and 70% in the 10th year. Well, why is this data important? Well, it's important because there's a fear factor here that's been around for a long time. Now, according to Investopedia, and you can just Google search that, the 5 most common reasons why small businesses fail are a lack of sufficient capital. I mean, this is really a key factor. It was for us. We raised, I think, about $1 million, and we needed about 2 or 3 million. So we didn't have enough capital. Poor management. The owner of the idea didn't want to share the responsibility, so he kept everything to himself. Inadequate business planning. Again, it was his idea, and there was no other way to provide information about moving forward. Overblowing their marketing budgets. Well, again, every time we went to raise capital, it wasn't put in the right place. So we always spent more than we, or he spent more than he made. So, which then created cash flow problems. And this is the typical challenge that businesses have, that people run into and you hear about, and why most people don't want to go that route. But let's take a look at this. What is it we do as far as working is concerned? Well, according to Webster's, the dictionary, work is defined as to perform work or fulfill duties regularly for wages or salary. That's one answer. To perform or carry through a task requiring sustained effort or continuous operations. Okay, another definition. To exert oneself physically or mentally, especially in sustained effort for a purpose or under compulsion or necessity. D, to function or operate according to a plan or design, more what we are about, and to produce a desired effect or result, succeed. And that's finally what we do. So if we look at what that consists of, the labor force in this country in February of 2022 was about 164.4 million. That was the highest it's ever been. And this is just at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And so what we can conclude about that, and this is really important moving forward, is that majority of the working population works. Now, in this group, and we see that there's about 31.7 small businesses in the U.S., and out of which 25.7 have no staff, so they're just a single person. And 6 million of those businesses employed paid workers. Well, that could be a secretary or an administrator. So if we, and again, there's a reason for setting the stage here for having this information, is that people have to work, and the majority have to work, and there's a lot of them that are working, and there's a lot that have small businesses, and that idea is not unfamiliar. Okay, let's move forward. So we have choices. We can work for somebody else, and we're under their control when we do that. They're making the profits. They get to play while you work, and you can be fired at any time. I mean, there's no real safety valve there at all. You can start your own business, but first you have to validate that idea. You have to shore up the plan and budget. You have to build the right team. You have to establish a support system. You kind of have to respond to feedback and refine your model. Or you could purchase a franchise of some kind, and these can be very expensive, and most people can't afford them. There still is no guarantee, even if you do buy a franchise. You're stuck to the business for many of these for a very long time, and you have very little time for yourself. So there's that choice. Or then you could build a distribution business with Nikon. Now, you're basically going to do similar activities, except you're building a team and creating a residual income that you can enjoy for a long time. And you're not stuck behind a desk or in any geographical location. And you can choose and decide when and where you do things. That's really kind of interesting. So why is the Nikon business model unique and different? Well, the idea has been validated. The ability to have and get feedback is already in place. Training, coaching, mentoring is readily available. Global markets already exist. The company has purposeful technology and products that everyone needs. It provides a complete support system. It has a built-in team to help with customer service, so you don't have to get that going. And it has a proven and easy plan to follow. Constant research and development is ongoing. It has a warehouse and shipping and handling. No stocking required. I mean, this is brilliant because starting a business, if you're selling something, you got to provide the product, which we did, and you have to warehouse it, and you got to ship it, and that can be a big headache. It has complete financial administration, receipt and payment processes, internet presence, personal web page. No major outlay of cash required to start, no product purchase requirements. Now, healthy income and reward benefits can be earned. So it's kind of attractive in what it has to offer. And from having 32 years of experience of being involved, I can say that everything there is 100% accurate and true. So, what's the best way to make products or services known and liked? So here's the first question that you want to look at. Why do big businesses use celebrities to endorse their products? And what happens when someone you know tells you about a great restaurant or movie? And what happens when you ask a friend for a reference or for a service provider, a construction or repair? See, the whole idea is based on word of mouth. You tell Bill, who tells Irene, who tells John, who tells Mary. It's like a video or comment on the web going viral. Someone's telling somebody else many times. This gets repeated over and over and over again. It's word of mouth. So if we look at this in the sense of what we have to offer and what we provide, then it makes total sense. We provide solutions, benefits, and potential alternatives to issues in life that everyone deals with on a daily basis. And these consist of things like dehydration and poor sleep or lack or quality sleep, poor energy, elimination of discomforts, reduction of stress, lack of income, lack of purpose. So that pretty much covers anything and everything that everybody goes through on a day-to-day basis, which is quite unique. So here's the supporting benefits that are important to all this. Nikken was founded in 1975. Nikken has done billions in sales. Nikken has a proven track record of success and longevity. Nikken has technologies with a purpose. Nikken has products with a purpose to resolve issues. And Nikken has a business model that allows your creativity to be used so that you can create whatever you want to. You can do this when you want to and why you want to. There are no limits to what can be done. And in this business, there is no such thing as failure. There's just simply a lack of doing enough of the right activities that create results. And success is learned behavior, and results come about through doing activities. So the whole key to this is to really understand what you have here so that you can put everything in perspective. And what we're going to do in the coming weeks is we're going to explore and provide the different aspects of what makes this business tick and what you need to do. And in our next lesson, we're going to talk about the potential that this has to offer in the sense of if you do the right activities and over a period of time. And then following that, we're going to get into the strategies, the plans, the activities, the skills necessary, and it's going to be a whole series. All of this will be posted on the website daverolfe.com, and they'll be available on YouTube. So I'm going to stop the screen share and go back to the live. There we go. And we'll go to the speaker. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So thanks for being on today, this morning, and really appreciate it. As usual, what I will do is I will, this has been recorded, we'll post it, and you'll be able to go to daverolfe.com and view the presentation. So right now, I will stop the recording, and then we'll go into a Q&A.